Sorry. Almost there. Okay. Okay. So we need some siyat d'shmaya. I mean, we always need siyat d'shmaya. But I decided at a very late hour, that could be in the night or it could be in the morning, you never know what we're holding out. But we're going to give a bitachon shir, but outside the sefer a little bit. Because as we've been discussing a little bit since Elul started, Rosh Hashanah is the Chag habitachon. You'll hear that Lashon Chag habitachon by Pesach, sometimes by Sukkot. But we're going to discuss how Rosh Hashanah is the Chag habitachon. We've been discussing up until now, so we're going to try to put things together. We'll look inside the sefer a little bit, and I'm going to try to be as clear as possible. I'm going to have to read from some notes that just came down a little while ago. So we're going to go through a little bit of a progression. And some people are wondering, some people are re-wondering how to approach Rosh Hashanah. What's the mindset? What's the kavanah one should have coming to Rosh Hashanah, on Rosh Hashanah? People have the question, do I ask bakashas in Rosh Hashanah? Do I not ask bakashas in Rosh Hashanah? If I ask bakashas, is it gashmius? Is it just ruchnius? People have these questions. Some people already have a mahalach, and that's fine if you have a mahalach. I'm just coming with a bitachon mahalach, based on what we've been learning for a long time now. I'm sorry. Nothing that I'm saying now is negating anything that you've ever learned. I'm not putting anything. It's a mahalach, like anything else, and if you like it and you appreciate it, you can go with it. And if not, you don't have to. So Rosh Hashanah is the day we hold that Adam, thank you, I'll get there. Adam's created, right? Rosh Hashanah is the day, Adam's creation. Yesterday, the world was created. According to many Shittas, Rosh Hashanah is an Adam Rishon is created. Adon Olam Asher Molach B'Terem Kol Yitzir Nivro, like we say every day. Adon Olam, Kadosh Baruch Hu, the master of the universe. He was a king even before there was a creation. Adon Olam Asher Molach B'Terem, before Kol Yitzir Nivro, before there was any creation. But Leis Nasa B'Chefto Kol, but when he came and he created the world, and he created with his chayfus, his desire, day 1, day 2, day 3, up until Adam Rishon, and day 6, and Shabbos, of course. Leis Nasa B'Chefto Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. Now there's somebody in the world to call him Melech. Adam Rishon to call Melech. And the Sugya in Bracha says Avram Avinu is the first one to actually formulate the Lashon Adon. But once the Kadosh Baruch Hu created man, Adam, which is very close to Adon, this was the beginning of Kadosh Baruch Hu's Malchus, a revealed Malchus in the world. And therefore every day, every year, we come back to Rosh Hashanah, and Adam's created, and therefore the Shem of Malchus is again recreated. So every year, that's what we do, right? We coronate the king. And we reestablish the Malchus of Kadosh Baruch Hu. Keser Yitnu Lecha. We give him back the crown. Keser Yitnu Lecha. So what is this? How do we approach this rebirth? Right? We're coming back alive. We're coming a fresh start. And we're coming right away to the king. Rosh Hashanah, coronation of the king. Azai Melech Shemo Nikra. So how do we approach? Again, a mahalach. So we're going to use some chazals, marmakomos that you've heard. Ein melech below am. There's a yesod. There cannot be a melech without a nation. If a guy just stands on the corner and says, "Hi, I'm the king," everybody walks by him and laughs at him. Well, he's not the king. But if he says, "Hi, I'm the king," and I'm going to lower your taxes, obviously, and everybody starts to crowd around him, and they say, "All hail the king," well, now you have a king. How powerful is his rule? How much can he actually govern? That's each situation is different. But the people are submitting themselves, they're subjugating themselves to this person who's saying he's the king. And that's how you create a king. So that's why it is the most important aspect of kingship and a Kadosh Baruch Hu's kingship is Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shemayim. Because only if we're Makabel, the Ol of the Malchus, is a Kadosh Baruch Hu the king. That's why the most famous pasuk of all, and the most important pasuk, and it's the pinnacle of all of Malchus, Malchias, we get to Rosh Hashanah, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shemayim. Total submission. Shema Shin Mem Ayin. Because the question really is, where do you see in the words Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shemayim? Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. There's no Kabbalah, there's no Ol, there's no Malchus, there's no Shemayim. But if you look at there's a lot to talk about, but at least in a remez, the word Shema, Shin Mem Ayin, if you look backwards, is Ol, Ayin, Ol, Malchus, Shemayim. Shema means to hear, to accept. Right? When you hear something, you hear it, I hear the words, you hear the words I'm saying. Then the next process is you understand the words. Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? Right? I'm not asking, do you actually physically hear? I'm asking, did you understand what I'm saying? And then if I was telling my child, what he did was wrong, or I'm giving him a command, first I say, do you hear me? The kid nods. I physically heard with my ears what you're saying. And then you say it a little bit louder. Did you hear what I'm saying to you? Do you understand that I told you it's inappropriate to smack your sister in the face? Did you hear? Do you understand what I'm saying? And the kid, again, he nods a little bit. And then you say it one more time. Do you hear what I'm saying? What are you saying then? Do you accept? Do you accept? You heard it, you understood it, but do you accept it? Because a kid can nod his head twice. He could hear it. I understand everything you're saying, but I don't accept what you're saying. So Shema, Ol Malchus Shemayim, is to hear it, and then to hear it to accept. So now we have the beginning of the world, our world. Adam's recreated, man, work recreated. We're coronating the king, we're reestablishing his Malchus. And the question is, what's the focus? Do we think about what's best for the king? He's the king. We have to serve the king. Or, if the king is only because Ein Melech below Am, if the king is only a king because we have to accept him, well then, maybe we should be thinking what's best for the king's people, meaning myself included, right? If the kingdom is really dependent on the people, well then maybe we should think about what the people want, because in that way they'll continue to accept the king. So who's the focus on? Is it on the king or the people who appoint the king? So if we go in potentially, again, this is a mahal that's coming down. It doesn't. There are points to be disagreed upon, but follow my train of thought. If we go in, it's all about the king. He's the king, Melech, HaMelech, Din, Mishpat. So then there's an ayum, there's a noir, there's a fear, there's a pachad. The king is so powerful, right? We're mamlech, this powerful king, and he could do a lot of things. He could kill me. He could, right? So we go in with a pachad. It's all about the king. But you could have the second approach is that, again, if the kingdom is really dependent on the people, myself included, well then I should go in with bakashas. I should ask the king, I would like this, I would like this, I would like this, because I'm mamlech you. You're really dependent on me. And these are things that I request, and I believe you have the power to do that, and I will continue to be mamlech you if you continue to listen to my request. That doesn't mean I expect every single thing to be answered. We're not talking about a person who's demanding from the king, but you are the king, you're all powerful, my requests come to you, and I'm going to continue to be mamlech you. It comes together with the bakashas. King is so powerful. These are two different approaches that I think people might go in with, and sometimes they get muddied, they get mixed a little bit. But can we merge? Can we merge these two perspectives? Can we bring them together? That the day is all about the king, but yet at the same time, it's about us in a certain way? Is there a way to do that? So the answer is of course. Because if we truly trust the king and we have bitachon in this all-powerful, all-knowing king, then we can fully submit ourselves, subjugate ourselves to the king fully. He's the melech. While feeling, and this is part of bitachon, that we're fully taken care of. That I will get everything that I need. I'm not even sure if I have to ask. Because what does bitachon mean? Bitachon means, you know what? Let's read it. You have the book here. Let's turn to page 40. Let's go all the way back to page 40. Let's just read 2 paragraphs. This is where the Chovos HaLevavos defines what bitachon is. So, we're going to get to Rosh Hashanah, the Chag of Bitachon, so it's good to know how to define what the essence of the Chag is, I think. We're just going to read straight in English, page 40, page 41. Just simply and straight. The essence of trust is the peace of mind of the person who has trust. Menuchas HaNefesh. If you have trust, then you have Menuchas HaNefesh. And that he relies on the person, or here we know, of course, is a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and that he relies on a Kadosh Baruch Hu, in whom he is trusting, that he, I'm just going to change the words, of course, that he, a Kadosh Baruch Hu, will do the good and correct thing for him, the one who trusts me, in the matter regarding which he is trusting in him. If I'm trusting in a Kadosh Baruch Hu for parnasa, if I'm trusting in health, if I'm trusting in for education for my kids, whatever, my ruchnias, whatever it may be, I'm fully trusting in a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore I can have Menuchas HaNefesh, that it will be okay. According to his ability and knowledge, which is Kadosh Baruch Hu's ability, this is where your Amunah comes in. How much Amunah do you have in his ability, in his knowledge? But according to his ability and knowledge to bring that which is good for him, meaning me, into actuality. That's what trust is. I fully give over. Bitachon. We're not talking about Ishtadlus yet. But the main thing, as a result of which the trusting person will trust, what does that trusting person, meaning me, you, of us, what do we need to have? What are the conditions so that we can submit ourselves, fully trust, be fully tranquil in that trust of the Kadosh Baruch Hu? But the main thing as a result of which the trusting person will trust and without which he will not trust is that he is certain that, number one, the person, Kadosh Baruch Hu, upon whom he is relying, will follow through on that which he said and do what he promised to do. To fully trust, to have that feeling of Menuchas HaNefesh, which we all want. That's what we want. Everybody wants Menuchas HaNefesh. Everybody wants to be relaxed. The only way you can get there with trust is if you fully rely upon a Kadosh Baruch Hu to follow through with which he said and do what he promised to do. Which is, depending on what you believe in. If you believe he will do for you the best that he could possibly do, then you will trust in that and you could become. And 2, the person he is trusting, or Kadosh Baruch Hu, we believe that he has in mind to do good with him that which he had never stipulated or assumed responsibility to do. I trust that a Kadosh Baruch Hu will always do the best for me possible, even if I didn't ask him. That's my trust. Because I'm limited in how much I can request. What I need is much more. I can't ask every single second for eyesight and for breathing and for parnasa and for walking. I can't, it's not shaykh. And all the things that I don't even know are happening in the world. It's not possible. So if I would only be able to rely on what I'm actually asking, I'd be nervous a lot of the day because I didn't ask for that thing. I didn't ask for that thing. And the next person, and then I see that person has that. Oh gosh, well, I need that. And I can't live like that. So therefore, part of fully trusting in a Kadosh Baruch Hu is that he will do for me always what's best, even if I don't request it. Because he always knows what's best for me. That's Kabbalah. If you can really get to that place, what do you have to worry about? And that's the tachlis of bitachon. Again, number 2, the person Kadosh Baruch Hu he's trusting in has in mind to do good with him, that which he had never stipulated or assumed responsibility to do, and that he, Hashem, will do it as an act of his generosity and kindness. You have to believe that, and then you can give yourself over to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And if you give yourself over to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, you can come with total Menuchas HaNefesh. You can come into Rosh Hashanah with this. Isn't trusting, doesn't that bring us to the place of total submission and subjugation without, don't think any shackles here, right? Isn't trusting what we're saying here just totally submitting to Kadosh Baruch Hu's will? So it sounds like. And if we do that, then we have our cake and eat it too. We're being mamlich the king fully. I fully trust that he will take care of me. I don't even have to ask him necessarily, because he knows more than what I need. And I can have menuchas nefesh. I don't have to be scared of Rosh Hashanah. No pachad. I could daven, we'll see, even with a simcha, with a menuchas nefesh. Some people have lists and lists and lists of things that they want to ask. And if they didn't ask that thing, oh my gosh, what's going to be? I didn't ask for that one thing, Rosh Hashanah. It's my only chance. What's going to happen this year? I forgot. Hey, man, if you have bitachon, it's okay if you didn't ask it. It's okay if you didn't ask anything, really. Again, this is a mahalach. So Rosh Hashanah is the Chag of Bitachon. That's how I see it. These two lines can sum up our being mamlech HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Trusting in him is being mamlech him. It could be hainamach, be the same thing. Now, to have true bitachon, menuchas nefesh, but we know, those who've been learning, listen, you can't just sit in your bed and twiddle your thumbs and believe and trust that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of your parnasa. That's not true. You have to do a shtadlus. Do a shtadlus. So you'll say, what do you mean? So I have to do a shtadlus even on, if you want me to trust on Rosh Hashanah, and you want to help me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to just give myself over to you, but I have to do my shtadlus. And sometimes the shtadlus is asking. Sometimes that is actually the shtadlus, right? Tefillah is an interesting, we discussed this in the past, I don't remember which year it was. Is tefillah an act of hishtadlus or bitachon? The bakashas of tefillah is like a hishtadlus, right? There's also tefillahs, the shvach of tefillah, the hodah of tefillah is more like bitachon. So we need to put on our hishtadlus. And when we talk about the world of hishtadlus, right, in a very general, basic way, it's we do whatever we can do up until the point of the gemar, and then we let go of all attachment to results, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu decides however that's going to go. And we should try not to have any opinions on the matter, or expectations as much as possible, because we don't know, we have to trust. The second you think, well, that result was bad, well then now you're in a dangerous zone. It's hard to have bitachon when you think the result was bad. So that's the point of our bitachon work with Ishtadlus, is that we try to do according to the situation as much as we think is appropriate, and then once you're done with that, let it go. If the guy says, I'm going to buy, great. If the doctor helps, if the medicine helps, that's great. And if the medicine doesn't help, so the Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted. If the guy doesn't buy, the Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted. That's bitachon, after the Ishtadlus. To have a bitachon, to fully trust in a Kadosh Baruch Hu that everything is going to go exactly the way that he wants and it's going to be good without a hishtadlus, that's very, 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 very rare. Very few people. Person is lowly sick. I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'm just going to trust in the Kadosh Baruch Hu that everything's going to be okay. Okay, so 1 week goes by, 2 weeks go by, he's still sick. 3 weeks go by, he's still sick. I woke up. He starts to shake. Okay, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm not so sure if this. Maybe I should go to the doctor. Maybe. But if you go to the doctor, and the doctors take the medicine, and even if the medicine doesn't work, but I did what I had to do, and that's where I did my shtadlus, and now my bitachon kicks in. But to be able to have a true bitachon, menuchas and nefesh, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of me without any shtadlus, we're not really built like that. We can get to that place if you're a tzaddik, but we need to do in this world. We need to do, and then let Hashem do. It's a partnership. So we have to do this. Hishtadlus. So comes Rosh Hashanah. So what are you telling me that I should just trust on Rosh Hashanah and not ask any requests? You can't do that. You have to do your hishtadlus. That's the request, and then I'll submit to whatever he decides. But what happens like this? Let's say a mashal, maybe. So in the kingdom, of course, it was told to all the people. So every month, I want you to write letters. The king tells all the people, I want you to write a letter to me. I can't go around to every single person. I don't have time for that. It's not possible. Everybody write a letter a month. Write for me your requests. You know what you would like. And I'll read the letters. So every month, you write a letter month after month. King, I need some parnasa. King, I need, someone sick in the family. King, I need this. King, and the next month, King, I still need some parnasa. It's going okay. I still need some parnasa. There's someone's in the house. I have this, that. And like month after month, you write all the letters. Now, 1 month, this is after about almost a year. So then you get a message. The king is going to allow you to approach him. You can come to the palace, you can approach him. So you go, and when you get there, the officer at the door says, "What's your name?" You tell them your name, and they go to the back room, and they bring out all your 10 letters that you've written to the king. They say, "Wait here." So they go into the king, and the king looks over the 10 letters. He's already seen them before at least once, and he looks at them again. And the king then says, "Okay, come in." And now you're standing in front of the king. The king's there. He has your letters. The king says, "What can I do for you? How can I help you?" Think about that for a second. In front of the king, he's holding your 10 letters. What do you ask? He's asking you to approach him, to say something. What do you say? So some people will probably say, they would basically read off what they wrote in the letters. I need the parnasa, I need this. But that's silly, right? The king's holding the letters. But that would be so silly. The king already knows what you want. He knows. He's got it right there. So you can say it again. Hi, sir. You know that I read the letters already. The king's going to say, I know exactly what you want. You said it 10 times already. So what do you say? Some people wouldn't be able to speak. Hey, what do you do there? The king already knows what you want. So what's am I supposed to ask for him? So what do you ask? King, you already know what I want. Whatever you think is best, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to serve you. You've already written 10 letters. The king already got it. You're going to ask again when you get to him? Or are you going to take that opportunity to say, in his face, in the king's face, first time you're meeting him, I fully submit to you and whatever you want. Not because I'm trying to manipulate you to give me what I want. Because you're actually the king. And I only wrote those letters. I only asked those bakashas because I trust in you. Right? Kodesh Baruch Hu loves when we ask bakashas. That's why there are 13 brachas in Shemona Esrei bakashas. And that's what he does like when we ask from him. Because when you ask from somebody, you're saying, I believe in you. I trust in you. Why does the kid ask the parent 1,000 times? Because the parent is the one who can actually help the kid out. We'd also like a little bit of shvach from the kids, a little bit of hodah, right? So the king loves the letters. He always wants our ishtadlus and our bakashas. But when you're standing in front of the king, and he already knows everything, this is your opportunity to drop all that and say, I fully submit, I fully trust in you. You want the king to know that. Because what do we really want? We want to be an Eved Ne'eman. We want to be a Shliach Hashem. Remember, we discussed this all early on. That everybody is just a Shliach Hashem. Right? Now, if you really want to be a Shliach Hashem, you really want to be a messenger, don't you think that the king will make sure that his messengers have what they need to do their message, whatever it may be? If he's a good king, if he's a smart king, if he's an all-powerful king, he will make sure that his messengers have exactly what they need to be able to go into the world and do whatever the king's bidding is. And if the king doesn't give it to you, then he clearly didn't want you to do X, Y, and Z, what you might have thought was your shlichus. So we ask the whole year, we ask for what we think is good for us to be a good shluchim. But when you get to that place, all you say is, I'm telling you, I want to be your Eved Ne'eman. I want to be your shliach. With the full understanding, the full trust that the king will then load you up. You need money for what I want you to do, says the king. I'll give you the money. I'll give you the covet. I'll give you this. They get it all. Everything. You don't have to ask. Now, a person now might say, okay, that's very, very nice. I hear you. It's a nice mahalach. But the Maaseh, we're talking about Rosh Hashanah here. It's the Yom HaDin. I wasn't the best shliach this year. I believe if I was a good shliach, and I asked my bakashas to the king, and then on Rosh Hashanah I can go and say, listen, king, look at my record from last year. I did my shlichus. I'm fully submitted again to your shlichus, with the hope that the king will again provide me with life, with parnasa, with health, and everything else. But I didn't do my shlichus. According to me, I didn't do my shlichus so well. I didn't daven so well, I didn't learn so well, I did some averas. You understand all this. So now, that puts a whole damper. I can't go to the king like that. I have to go and begging him, like an ani. Please give me another chance. You can hear that. However, Yerushalmi says, Yerushalmi Rosh Hashanah says, Amar Reb Simon, Ksiv kimi goy gol shalom chukim mishpatim tzadikim. Who's the great nation that has chukim mishpatim? Rabbi Cham, Rabbi Chanina, Rabbi Yoshai. Chadam. Eze uma k'umazos. Who is like this nation of Klal Yisrael? B'noeg sheba'olam adam yodeh sheyesh lo din. When a person knows that he has a din against him, and he hasn't maybe been such a good boy, lovesh chayrim. He wears black. He wears black. Oy. He goes to the court case. He goes to the judge, trying to buy the emotions of the judge. He wears his black. He looks down. And he wraps himself in black and ash, and he wants to show he's so sad and broken. And he grows his beard long. He's in mourning. He doesn't know how the din's going to come out. He's scared. Aval Yisrael, Yisrael does not go to din like that. Yerushalmi, in Rosh Hashanah. Elolov Shim Levonim, we wear white, pristine. Some wear kittel. Kittel's on Rosh Hashanah. Many people. Or wear yarmulkes, whatever it is. Atzim Levonim. They wear nice clothing, fresh clothing, healthy looking clothing. Nothing crumpled. Umegalchin zakanim, and they shave their beard appropriately, so they look good. Va'ochin v'shosim v'smeichen, and they eat and they drink and they're happy. They're not fasting out of a pachad. Yodin, because they know. Shakadosh Baruch Hu oseh lahen nisim. Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to do for them miracles. Fascinating end of the Pashup shot. Hashem's going to take care of them. Right? Trust that Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of you. But that lashon, oseh lahen nisim. What does that mean? They do for you miracles. So first of all, we see, before we get to that, you see how the Yerushalmi says to go into Yontif, into Rosh Hashanah. Standing up with bitachon, trusting, believing on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He's going to take care of us. Now, what does it mean, Osel Nisim? So the Karban Eidah, one of the Mefarshim on the side of the Yerushalmi, I will read you the Lashon. Ready for this? Hashem will do for you Nisim, afilu einan zakain. Even if you do not merit a good judgment. Not just because you think down upon yourself. You actually don't. According to the Cheshbon, you didn't do good this year. You didn't do well. Nevertheless, you go in positive, you go upbeat, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to do nisim. Afilu ein zakayin kedamrinin ro'a re'isi ro'ani shasidim lasas ha'egel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I already saw they were going to do the egel, and I still gave to them. I still brought them a Yeshua. Yes, is there punishment in this world? Of course there's punishment in this world. We're not saying there's no punishment. But you don't go into the din thinking you're going to be the recipient of the punishment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want that. He doesn't want the black. He wants you to go in with a true bitachon, even if you don't think you're zocha. Even if you think you had a bad year of shlichus. You didn't do your mitzvahs properly. You did some averos. You still go in with full bitachon, because part of bitachon, we learned, one of the major facets of all of bitachon is this. You could have all the levels of bitachon, all 6 out of 7. If you don't have this one, for many people, they're going to throw it out the window. They're not going to be able to trust with menuchas and nefesh. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu will continue to do for you, even if you don't deserve it. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Melch Rachman. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Baal Chesed. It's the Kel, Racham, V'chanan. And the trust is that doesn't mean HaKadosh Baruch Hu is still going to give you the millions and millions and millions of dollars that you keep begging Him for, even if you don't deserve it. It means that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu does to me over this year, it's exactly what I need to get me to my best self. We discuss this a lot. That's what I trust. That I can always trust that a Kadosh Baruch Hu will always do what's best for me. That whenever, even if he has to punish me, it's never to just stop harm me and hurt me like he's angry at me. Any tochacha, any gevura, any din, any tzimtzum is only to help me grow, to help me get bigger, to help me wake up from my slumber. Uru mishinas. Like the shofar is supposed to wake us up. Everything's always upbeat, up positive. Is there punishment? There might be. But it's, again, it's not to hurt. It's to ultimately to motivate us if you have the right eyes of bitachon. We were discussing with Dov a few weeks ago. If you have the right eyes, the right inner eyes, to translate that which happened. If a person, lo aleinu, has something bad, quote unquote, bad happen to him, what's going to be the nakuda where he's going to ultimately either fall down and be upset and miyayish and angry and despair and leave, or he's going to say, okay, I see that this thing happened to me. I have to double up on my mitzvahs. I need to work harder. This is a Kadosh Baruch Hu looking to help me. What do you need to have to be able to make that decision? Bitachon. If you truly trust in the king, that everything that the king does is for the best, so even if a din comes at you, I'm going to take that din, I'm going to mantik it. Shuv me'ahav. And then I can turn all my sins into positive mitzvahs. But if a person doesn't have bitachon, and he takes a din in the face, so he's going to fall down to the floor and not be able to get back up. Bitachon gives that chizuk, gives us that strength. That's what we're going into Rosh Hashanah with. And then we can get to even the last portion. So if we have the right understanding that we're being reborn, Adam's being reborn, we're finally calling Kadosh Baruch Hu the Melech on Rosh Hashanah. And then we come to the place where we have to do our hishtadlus, but the hishtadlus on Rosh Hashanah is really not that hishtadlus. To have full menuchas nefesh and submit ourselves to the King with full trust that He knows. And if I'm a shliach Hashem, if I say to Kadosh Baruch Hu on Rosh Hashanah, I am here because I'm a shliach Hashem, I'm an Even Emam. That's it. Then we know we have menuchas nefesh that He will provide for us throughout the year what we need. And even if a person says, yeah, but I wasn't a good shliach last year, Yerushalmi is telling us, and the faster bitachon is, it doesn't matter. Still a bitachon. Still going positive. And so you could have menuchas nefesh, but if you follow this progression, you can even go into Rosh Hashanah mamish b'simcha. Not just menuchas nefesh. Mamish b'simcha. Clapping and dancing. Like some shuls do. Baruch Hashem. Baal Shem Tov brought it to the world. But you'll say, that's crazy. Come on, I mean, you can't do that. Yeah, okay, menuchas nefesh I get. Timamach the king I get, but simcha, that's like pushing it, man. You know, the Gemara's talk about it, it's the Yom Adin. You can't say Hallel, because how can you say Hallel? Sifrei Chaim, Sifrei Meitzim are opened. So how could it be appropriate to have simcha? So let me just read you some sukkim, yeah? Nehemiah said it, not me. Ezra and Nehemiah. The Yom Nehemiah, the Ezra, Hamivinim es Am, they were explaining to the people, to the nation. Ezra and Nehemiah. This is before the binyan by Shem. So they're still a little bit in Gullus. Yes, they came back, but there's still a churban in front of their faces. Yes? So they're explaining to the people, Hayom Kadosh Hu LaHashem Lokeichem. Today is a holy day for Kadosh Baruch Hu, your king. What's Hayom? Atem mitzavim Hayom. What does the Medrash say? Rosh Hashanah. Today is the day you're all standing here. Says Rashi, says all the Mefarshim, Hayom is referring to Rosh Hashanah. So Ezra and Nehemiah are speaking to the people, the great tzaddikim, in Gullus. I don't think they didn't build the second base of yet. And it's Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the Yom Adin, it's Yom HaMishpat. There's a Churban, there's a Gullus, we're not there yet. There's a lot of intermarriage. How do you think the people are feeling? They scream out to the people, Al Tis'ablu. No veilus today. The Al Tivku. No crying today. Why would Ezra and Nehemiah tell them not to have a veilus and not crying? Why were they crying? It says the pasuk, Ki bochem kol ha'am kishamam es divrei haTorah. Because the nation was crying when they heard the Torah. Well, the Torah says, you have to keep this mitzvah. They weren't keeping that mitzvah. The Torah says you can't do that, and they were doing that. The Torah says it's going to be klalas, and they're scared about the klalas. People were crying because when they finally came back to the Torah, right, they're brought back to Eretz Yisrael, they're learning Torah again, You hear about all the things that they weren't doing. Mitzad, the assays they weren't doing. And mitzad, the los assays that they were doing. There was a lot of intermarriage going on. There's a lot of problems. They were crying. It's Rosh Hashanah, Yom Adin. What's going to be with us? We're going to die. So Mom is crying. They're having velas. They're tearing Kriya. And Ezra Nechem, the Tzaddik Ador, Ezra's compared to Moshe Rabbeinu. They're yelling at people, you can't cry today. You can't have a velas today. It's your Rosh Hashanah. Vayomer Lahem. Rather, they say to the people, Lechu, go. Anybody? Ichlu mashmanim, go eat the best foods. Vishasu mamtakim, go drink the best, sweetest drinks. Vishilchu manos le'inachanu, and go give mishlach manos to the people who don't have. Don't sit in your house by yourself, considering what's going to be. Go. Go help others. Go be with the nation. Emelch Bloam. Be with the people. Tati's very happy when the kids are friendly to each other. Go give mishlach manos. Eat, drink. I don't want to be married. That's already pushing it. Eat, drink, and be, but in a serious way, but simcha. Mamish simcha. Ki kodesh hayom adonenu, because today is a very holy day for our Adon, our master, the king. It's a great day for Kodesh Baruch Hu. Ve'al te'atzu, you cannot be be'atzus. Asur. And Rosh Hashanah you can't be be'atzus. Kodesh can rest of the year. No atzus. So you're not keeping the Torah? Okay, we'll work on that, 100%. You have to do tshuva. You need to get better, of course. But today's not the day to be mourning. Today's the day to be mamlech the king. To submit yourself and trust in the king fully. Because the simcha of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is your strength. And if you're b'simcha on his day of simcha, now you're powerful. Now you're a real shliach Hashem. And now you'll be able to go into the world and do your shlichus properly. So you see how we could change the entire Rosh Hashanah into it's still a serious day. But it's a day fully of trusting in the king, totally being mamlech him. We don't have to have the pressure of asking for every single last thing and nervous if we don't ask what's going to be. You don't have to ask for anything if you fully trust. Even if you have sins the past year and you didn't yet do tshuva and and you're waiting for a serious made tshuva, you can still have bitachon, Kadosh Baruch Hu, and your mercy. Bitachon. See, when you say those words in slichas, bitachon, it should be a whole new meaning for those who have been working on the sugya for over a year. 112 shir. Bitachon is a whole different world. Bitachon isn't scared, but I trust that it's going to be okay. Bitachon is, it's going to be okay because the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of the way exactly he wants it. It's perfect. It's been good up until now. It'll continue to be good. It's a whole other world. You can go into Rosh Hashanah b'simcha. Not hololus, not b'shurusly b'elech, like that's like last week's parsha. If a person goes in as a balgaiva, he's not nervous about Rosh Hashanah because it's okay, I'm going to be okay. I've been good in the years past. Then you're in trouble. That's not good. That's not what we're saying. You don't go b'shurusly b'elech. You go in with a full trust in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. B'shurusly b'elech is because you trust in yourself. That's the total antithesis of bitachon. Right? That a Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't forgive. Even that you could work on with bitachon, but that's not for now. So if we go in this way, it could be a whole new Rosh Hashanah. B'menuchas nefesh, no daigis, and b'simcha rab. Put your talis over your head and just smile. It could be that the rest of the people are in a different state of mind. And it could be that you take this, you don't even enjoy it, you don't appreciate this. But if you follow mahalach of bitachon in this way, you can put your talis over your head the entire Rosh Hashanah, and from the first hour to the last hour, you could just be there with the Kadosh Baruch Hu and say, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I'm here to be your shliach, to be your Evan Neman. I trust you, I believe in you, I love you, and you're going to take care of me because I'm here to serve you. That's it. I'm here. Lamancha elukim chaim. It's for you. Lamancha. I come Rosh Hashanah. It's a kaval de yontif. All the pressures that we've had, the religious pressures, the spiritual pressures, which are sometimes good, but sometimes they throw off a Rosh Hashanah. Sometimes too much pressure is not good for Rosh Hashanah. And then we can't even get into the mood that we want to be in, and then we're upset that we didn't get into the mood we're supposed to be in, and oh my gosh, what's going to be with my year this year? Bitachon says, drop all that. Al tidag. It's okay. It's Hashem, see you next time.